Today, speaking with us at Hall in the Arts is Dr. Suzanne Oliver. She's the main instructor, teacher at Jacinto College South Campus. And well, first of all, let me ask you a question. Like, how long has this been going on at Jacinto College South Campus?
I've been at South Campus. I just got my 10-year service award. And when I first started, I came in as a dance specialist in the physical education department because I have an advanced degree, a PhD in kinesiology and an MFA in dance. So I was qualified to go into a PE department.
Okay.
And so I started in, I guess, 96 here, and then by 1999, I had gotten approval through professional development to write curriculum for a fine arts dance program, which is really my love. I mean, everything I've done, even my PhD, was geared towards helping dancers learn more effectively what the basics of technique and anatomy were, and how that would apply to their dance training.
Okay.
So by 1999, the program was approved, which was a long curriculum process. They'd never approved 16 courses all in one fell swoop.
Right, right.
So I wrote the program, and it was approved, and it got started in 1999. That was the first year that I awarded scholarship money for dancers wanting to emphasize dance in their curriculum.
Okay, and you hold a doctorate in kinesiology. What exactly does that entail for anyone who's interested in possibly getting their doctorate, PhD? Yes.
A lot of the programs in the Houston area, if you get a PhD in the Houston area, they might call it health and human performance, or human performance, or even in some cases still physical education. But kinesiology was the name for the program at the University of Illinois. And all it means is kines means movement, and ology is the science of. So it's really the science of movement. And people apply it in all different ways. And in my particular case, I was applying it to learning dance, learning about dance, understanding how the body works in a dance framework. And I also have certification in something that's called the Alexander technique, which is a postural re-education method. So in my PhD work, I kind of wove movement science, dance technique, and training, and the Alexander technique together into my dissertation work.
Okay, so you do have to go through the whole thing about writing out a dissertation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
It's not a PhD in dance. Even in a PhD in dance, you always have to write a scholarly work.
Right.
And they say there's something like 75% of the people that have undertaken PhDs are what they call ABD, so that dissertation is really a daunting task. It's like writing a book.
We've had the chance to see probably the first half of the spring dance show this year. What percentage did you say that you were actually personally involved in choreographing it as opposed to students coming in and doing pieces this
that
year?
really varies. And at first I used to think I could do it all. I think the first concert I produced in '96 at Central Campus with Jerry Ford, I think everything on that concert was my choreography. But when you do it once a year, and you're a full-time teacher, and in some cases I've been a department chair as well, it's challenging to get all the choreography done once a year. So I've started very methodically kind of finding choreographers in the Houston area that I really like. And they're not necessarily students. There is every once in a while student choreography featured on the concert, but my whole thrust with the program is to try to expose the dancers here to as much professional choreography as possible. So if I see a piece I really like, if I go to Miller Outdoor Theater and see something, or if I go to Jewish Community Center and see something, I'll often go out and invite the choreographer. And a lot of these women are actually people that I know and that I interact with on a regular basis. So I can invite my friends and hang out with them, and they can choreograph a piece while I sit and watch and enjoy myself. So, it's in this particular show, only 2 of the pieces on the program, well, 3, one I collaborated on.
Right.
So 3 of the pieces on the show are actually mine, and that was, they closed both the first half and the second half. And those pieces are both resurrected pieces as opposed to brand new pieces this year. So different years I have more or less time to actually create a new piece of work. It's time consuming.
Yeah, so audiences from time to time, if they regularly attend the program, can actually come and see another piece that they may have seen in another spring performance?
Yeah, if you came to every single performance over the course of the years, you might have seen one piece twice, maybe another piece. Actually, I think Sisters we've done 3 times. So we always kind of figure that we don't get the same audiences, and especially since just this year, well actually last spring, was the first show performance that we did in this theater. So I think we got a different audience at Central Campus, other than the the girls' moms and dads.
Right.
I think we're attracting different audiences here than we did at Central Campus.
What is sort of your approach to choreography? How do you develop your dance from?
I mean, I'm a mover.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no getting around that. I love dynamics. I kind of like to create what I like to see. I suppose most of us do.
Right.
And everything I do is, well, not everything. I'm starting to work a lot more in a process way. So I try to get the dancers as much as possible to generate a bit of material, and then we work with that material so that they're all feeling very comfortable in their own bodies and their own ways of moving, and we can weave that together along with things that I bring to the process as well. So the piece on the program that, if this is shown at halftime, the piece that people just saw, which is Journey, those three dancers I'd worked with for a number of years, and so I felt a lot of confidence about what they could bring to the work. So in the very first section, we all came up with phrases. I said, make a phrase, you make a phrase, you make a phrase. All four of us made phrases. And then we used those and wove them together. We taught each other our phrases. We came together and went apart at different times. Actually, that's in the second section, how we started that section. And the first section is really one line of choreography that I actually taught to a modern dance class, an entire piece of line of choreography. That then I just had the three dancers start in different places on the stage, and they started at different points in that line of choreography. So it's really, it's kind of woven together by just three different people doing it, but starting in a different place.
Okay.
So it's kind of a tapestry type of thing.
Okay.
But I mean, people have said when they see my work, oh, it's so somatically driven, which is, it's very much about how the body breathes and moves through things in a very organic way, getting up and down from the floor. It's got a very emotional base, I really like thematic work. The piece that will be in the second half is it's a lot about how would women be in the culture was sort of the initiating question. How would women be in the culture if there was no objective eye looking in on us, if we didn't have to meet certain societal standards about how women should behave? So it was this whole idea of a group of women sort of secretly meeting in the forest together. And little by little they sort of go from being very kind of prim and proper and behaving the way they should and being very concerned about being watched. And it unfolds to this sort of wonderful celebratory relationship between women, just celebrating being.
Okay, and that's the closing dance of the piece.
It's called The Gathering.
The Gathering. Okay.
But so all different things drive me. I'd say I'm quite a feminist when it comes to thinking of pieces too. And I'm mostly working with women. So
right.
That's a common theme in modern dance these days, is women's world. And they always say choreograph what you know about, so I choreograph from the personal to a large degree. A lot of things that are on my mind, or, this year I want to make a new piece called Path. And I've always said life is like, you drop a pebble in the pond and you see these rings of sort of water come out from it. And I think that the issues that we deal with in our own lives are very circular in that way. When you're young, they might feel like this, and when you're older, it's the same issue, but it feels a little different and it's more informed,
Right.
So I'm going to try and make a piece about how, and use movement as a core, which every time you come through the path, your movement phrase is developed just a little bit differently,
Okay.
So it's metaphoric, but it's still, for me, I'm addressing themes that are current for me in my own life.
Okay. Well, we look forward to
next
time, seeing more.
And next year, actually, Michelle Manzanalis will be back. I have a young choreographer from Texas Christian University who just graduated coming in. She sent me a videotape of her work, and I said it's wonderful, and she'll be teaching in the Fort Bend Independent School District, so she'll be able to come over and set some work.
Yeah, and I'd love to be able to come back and
you have to come back,
yeah.
even if you're not filming.
Well, sure, yeah.
And I'd like to really focus at South Campus on what they will get at the four-year level. So if they're going to be going on to a four-year school at Texas Women's or Texas Christian or Sam Houston, what they get here for the first 2 years is very much what they will be getting at the four-year schools if they're majoring in dance.
Okay. Well, it was nice to have a chance to sit down and speak with you.
Thanks,
and I hope everyone has a chance to stay tuned for the second half, and especially the gathering at the end, and maybe next year. If
come on down to South Campus.
Yeah, come see it live. Okay. All right. Thank you.